Okay, so today we're just going to discuss a couple things, some questions you need to talk to about your teenager, and of course, before they start driving. And of course, you know your teenager better than anybody. Um, you know, are they the type of teenager that follows the rules, or do they, are they a rebel? Or they're somewhere in between. Do they understand the consequences of their actions? Some do, some don't. Um, but anyway, ask them where they're going. Ask them when they'll be back. Ask them who's going to be with them. Um, what time are they coming home? Uh, do they understand? If you put some kind of limits on how many people can be in a vehicle with them, do they understand that? Are they going to have 20 kids trying to cram in that car? Um, or is it just going to be, your teenager and one other person? Um, are there certain times that are off limits, and you don't want them driving in those times? Or there are certain places that are off limits? There are certain people that are off limits. Um, those are just all important things to ask, and I'm sure there's plenty more, but that's just a quick thing to, whenever your teenager's taking off to drive, just a few things to ask them just to check, and hopefully they'll hopefully they'll tell you the truth, and hopefully you've thought about uh, you know these limits, and if you don't want your kid hanging out with certain people or at certain times, then hopefully they'll obey you and they'll agree to. So anyway, that's all for today.